Good evening, everyone. So, just to check in on the markets for the week ahead. Still think we have this possibility of pushing down, but I'm going to go over those areas that I pointed out during the week as they all played out, and the possibility of us seeing perhaps a pullback, maybe a further pop and then a pullback, but we'll see. So, last week, Sunday's video, I pointed out the area against the bottom of this trend line, this area of major support, and us getting close to that area there. Then this inner trend line over here, lining up with our area over here, our area of interest. So over there you can also see support, 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 support. With the COVID crash, you could see it squeezed underneath, but the body's closed above the support. So do we still get that pullback? Or, there's also a possibility it actually boosts and then it's not out of the range of possibility. Then our Fibonacci retracement tool. As you can see, we pulled back from this low to this high to the 61.8 Fibonacci and bounced off there. But this little area over here is still what I'm looking at, so let me hide this and I'll take this away as well. Put a level of support down here. The same area I pointed out last week. So these are the confluences we still have in this area. It's that support, this broken trend line over here of resistance, 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 potential support if it falls down here. But what needs to happen is a breakdown of this trend here. Now in the week, I showed you guys this area and why I thought we were going to bounce there, right? Let's go down to the smaller time frames. So over here, this was based on this trend line of support, 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 right? We had this anchored VWAP from this low, line up to this area over here, and then we had just this horizontal support where we had support, resistance, try to form support, resistance, support, support, right? I pointed out that to confirm this, You could have gotten in that entry, but if you wanted to confirm this, we waited for the break of this little counter trend line of resistance, 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 break. The break was on smaller time frames. Clean this up a little bit better. Right? You had this little break, squeeze, and just popped. So if you got in on that, you should be smiling, right? And then I mentioned in the second video for the week, this area over here, this trend line, resistance, where we had resistance, 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 right? I also mentioned the 5-day moving average. Let's go down to the hourly. Sorry, let me just clean this. I have a bit of OCD, so okay. The 5-day moving average I mentioned as a potential confluence against this trend line, resistance, 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 break of resistance, and then this entry. And now I myself, I didn't get in here. I wasn't at the computer when this happened. I was actually in a little bit of a sell here, had a TP there, but some of my entries are still hovering here at break even, so kind of hoping it continues to fall, but hope schmope. Hope doesn't work in this game. But that's what I want to get to next. So those were the areas that I called out this week, right? So we could continue. It's likely, we could try to push up further before we actually fall, right? Might even want to push up into the Fed meeting, and then maybe the market gets disappointed and then we only get the fall. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. It's practically impossible to time the market. You just have to go with the price action. So for instance, last week I mentioned I'm looking for a fall down to this area, right? But as the week progressed, the price action started to show me these areas. I was like, okay, cool. These confluences are here. We had divergences, oversold conditions, all of that adding up to our confluences, which is why I mentioned these areas. So, we could get a push up further, or it could maybe come push down again, maybe test this area, then we get a breakdown. I don't know. For now, I would say if you entered there, try to lift your stop losses into profit, so that if it pulls back, you don't lose everything. But what I want to see now this week, the potential to happen is, because this thing, before I forget, tomorrow is Monday. EU to ban most seaborne imports of Russian crude on Monday. So I also don't know how the market's going to react to this, but Europe is banning Russian crude oil to try and, I don't know, get them to not fund the Ukraine war, whatever's going on there. I don't really read too much into like the news and all of this stuff, but it's important to be aware of it too. You know, my analysis is based on price action, and most of the time the news plays into the price action. So when was it? Fed Chair Powell spoke, and that's when we got this rally, because he said that, you know, they might come like easing of these financial rate hikes and things like that. It could possibly come as early as this December one, right? So the market rallied on that. But he also said that no time soon the rate hikes are going to be stopped, because I think back in the 70s inflation was so bad they changed course too early, and it, you know, it just ended up making it worse. So I don't think the rate hikes are going anywhere. They might slow it down. Maybe the market continues to just push up until then, when it's at the 14th, 13th, 14th of December, and then perhaps, you know, it gets disappointed, and then you see something different. Right now, I'm still looking where we are right now, and I want to point out some resistance levels where we are now. Just going to remove some of these lines. Right. And I want to look at this trend line, this inner trend line over here, which could potentially be resistance, as we have resistance over there, there, resistance, pops above it a little bit, support fails, turns back into resistance, and giving us a bit of resistance there, right? And we also have, go down to a smaller time frame, this level, I don't know what happened there. This level over here, support, right? And support broken at a resistance level, right? If we take Fibonacci tool, to this low, you'll see that it's also rejecting off this 50% retracement. Now, why I say we could still push up before we get the fall is this outer trend line, resistance, right? But it's also right, oh yeah, resistance, that trend line, right? Then we have this trend line of support, resistance. Now, I don't know, maybe it wants to try and push into that pocket and then a sharp decline. It's possible. It could fall from here, right? We have several confluences, and we bounced off this resistance level, so it might want to push one last push into that area, that is 61.8 Fibonacci, right? So that area, let me just mark that off with the trend line here. Take this away. Why doesn't, where's the, let me just check something. Text, style, show price, yeah. About 12,500. Let's look at this Fibonacci from this bottom. This bottom, this low. Yeah. So this second take profit here bounce now off this first extension here to might push to complete the move. There's a possibility of that happening. So that's what stuff we have to look out for this week is, do we get a further push into this area or do we pull back this week? Right. So those are some of the things I think we should look out for this week. If this is it, right, let's say for instance we had this fall now, right? And this pullback now is simply a retest of resistance. Let's see what levels of resistance we find here. This little area over here. Maybe we put it back to here even. Right. Support, 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 breaks, resistance. Right. Look at this Fibonacci from this high to the low. Also pull back into this golden pocket area. So maybe we get another pullback to this trend line and then we can see what happens there. Let's have a look at this trend line here. Actually broke it slightly here, so does that now mean that this pullback was just to take out sellers before it goes down? I don't know. We'll have to see whether it continues up or whether this is like a bull fake. Right? So these are the things to look for this week, guys. I hope this helps. Like I say, I'm still open-minded to this thing falling down, but you guys know the markets do what they please and we have to adjust accordingly. So I might want it to come down here, but might not. Let's have a look at the logarithmic chart. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, so we might still want to push just into this area before it maybe continues down. What area? What is the 13th, 14th area that I'm interested in? So for that to happen, we might get a quick spike and then a very sharp decline, like something like this or this. These were very sharp declines, so all of that could still happen. But for now, I'm gonna just continue holding these, lift them into profit. If it continues, cool. I've taken several profits on these trades that I took here. Actually in a sell from here, but this pullback, I've got some right here hovering at break even. So I think those have the possibility of just getting tapped out, and then we'll see. I did take profit before, like over here. I had the TP set, but I didn't end up entering any buys here because I wasn't here looking at the PC. So we have a little rejection of the small trend line here. So yeah, I'll update still in the week, those short videos, to see, as the market changes, do we first get the push up, or if we get the break, that could be another confirmation for a sell opportunity. Now my concern is, does it maybe, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Santa rally, where now's the time that the market starts getting bullish all the way into the new year, and then we fall. Do we get that this year? It's not like regular years. Inflation, everything is crazy. Do we get that phenomenon this year? Now, I don't want to rule it out. Right? Because what we could see happening is, let me throw this trend line back in here. Is a continuation, break, a rally, potentially up to this area here, right? Then in January, because now we've then broken this resistance, right? There's a support, perhaps rally, and then a pullback to retest over here. Because if we also look at it this way, right, let's say it does play out that way, you guys then see something here, a pattern forming. What could potentially happen then is form a massive shoulder, neckline, head, shoulder, neckline, neck, shoulder, and then perhaps we see it continuing. Just showing you guys the things that I'm seeing here. So yeah, market's looking nice, but I don't want us to get now, we're going, because that's been happening every time. We think, the market's going to continue, even the fake breakout here, out of this resistance, but ended up closing, ended up just expanding the channel that it was in, and then, whoop. So maybe a further push to that resistance, then a fall possibility, right? Or a push, break, we rally up through December into the new year, and then a pullback. Or what I would prefer is to just get this fall out the way, man. Like, get it over with. Goodness, a whole year. Boring, man. But if none of that bullish stuff happens and it decides, okay, this is it, fakes us another pop, and then a drop, we could then see if that happens. So, just a few things to keep out this week, guys. And let's see, when the market is open, what further confluences we see, what price action. Do we end up going down, or is this it? Are we going to be bullish for the month, or what? So yeah, let me just quickly look at the S&P 500 quickly here before I go. You see, the S&P 500 is really the big dog, and it is resistance, 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 resistance. Just have a look here. Yeah, we add this resistance, 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 resistance. There's an inner trend line here of support, support, broken support, tested that previous support as resistance in this resistance area. So does it have a last squeeze out, up, to take anybody that sold there, tap them out, and then we see a break of this support area over here, right? These are the things that I'm looking for. I don't know if these things are going to happen, but this is what we're looking for for possibilities to enter some trades. I would very much like this last push and be over and done with it, because I like holding my trades, man. In this open close business is boring. So yeah, guys, that's my analysis for the week. So once again, if you get a pullback into this area, right, resistance, broke resistance, support, I would look again in this area, support, to see if there's an opportunity for something. But if it breaks, I would like to see it drop to here. If it continues, then we follow the price action. Alright guys, I don't want to make these videos too long. That will be me for the night, and I hope you enjoy this content. Subscribe, like, share, it's free. Also, I do make use of prop firms. One thing I don't do anymore is use my own money to trade. I've tested a few. Some of them have completely screwed me. There's one company in particular that refused to pay out large sums of money 3 times. I'm not going to mention their names, because I'm still trying to get that money from them somehow. But I have a link in my description for FTMO. Never had a problem. Get my payment every 2 weeks when I do my withdrawals. So yeah, accelerate your growth, guys. You get access to like $400,000. That's like 6-7 million. So yeah, add that to your trading arsenal. Link is in my description. And yeah, enjoy the week, guys. Bye.